Okay, folks, good morning. Straight up, okay, 8 o'clock, unless you're in Arizona, it's 9 o'clock where I am. Okay, December 2nd, folks, you know what that means, right? If you want to make it a December to remember, you've got to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because I'm going to tell you something, when January rolls around, and it's right around the corner, you're going to remember what you did in December, meaning if you have a pipeline and people you're working with because you worked in December, you're going to feel great. And if you don't, you're going to remember that you know what you should have been doing in December, which I got to tell you is never a good place to be. All right, folks. So welcome to the call. Woo! Everybody out there? Okay, really, not all at once, folks. Try to calm yourself. I haven't muted you yet. All right, but I'm going to do that now. Hold on one second. All right, folks, we are very fortunate today to have an interview from our St. Rose office, Dan DeNuccio, top agent there. Dan, if you could hit *6 on your phone, and then let me know when you've done that so I can hear you.
Okay, I'm here, Rick.
There you are, Dan. All right, Dan, so let's start off by telling them a little about yourself, give them a little bit of your history so they know all about you and maybe your production levels as well, my man.
Okay. Been in Vegas since 1978. I came out here. A friend of mine had moved out here, and he coerced me into coming out here. So I came out here, enrolled in UNLV in pursuit of a business administration degree, and was working part-time as a manager of a pizza restaurant, and got tired of doing the food business, and a friend of mine talked me into buying a house, and in the whole process was telling me that I should be that I'd make a great real estate agent. So I said, well, what the heck, might as well give that a shot. So studied, got my license, and that was during the very lean years of the Carter years back in the 80s. And back then, prospecting consisted of opening up a newspaper and calling for sale by owners, and that was it. And farming. So one of the great farmers that I had the opportunity to meet and get some information from was Andrea Glenn. I don't know if anybody has been in the business long enough to remember her, but she was the class farmer. So. And then my production last year was, I think, between 26 and 27 million for myself and my team.
That's great. Awesome stuff. Yeah, which puts you. Now, where did you rank in the company being at with those numbers? Do you remember?
I think I was for the entire company. I can't remember, Rick. It was in the top 15, top 10,
yeah,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was up there. Definitely the top 15, maybe even the top 10. Yeah, I don't have that in front of me right now, but I believe that you were very, very close to that. And I got to tell people in Nevada, that's tough because we have a lot of agents, and we have a lot of, especially in your office. That office is a highly productive. There's almost 350 agents in that office alone. So just being up there in that office, never mind all of Nevada, is a great place to be. Okay, so you got your license back then. You've been doing it since the 80s. Me too. I got my license in 85. And I do remember not only back then was it, you prospected from the newspaper, but you also had 18% interest rates. It was kind of crazy. And then the secondary market came along and changed everything. It's funny when I look back and I think of all these things, like for you and I, the first disruptor, like now we have disruptors like, Purple Bricks that have come and gone, and, Open Door, OfferPad. But back then,
capital investors.
Right. And then the internet was like one of the, because remember when the internet came along and they told us, I hope you like your job because now that people can buy a house online, you won't be necessary in a few years. Do you remember that conversation back then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're talking 20 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah, my joke is, when Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah, exactly, Al Gore. Yeah. The information age was definitely our first disruptor, no question about it. It provided so much information for these for the consumer, and started to kind of diminish some of the services that we provided. So fortunately, the real estate industry is such a strong industry that we had to step up and enhance the consumer experience to make our positions more beneficial to them. And if we didn't, it would have been the demise of our industry.
Yeah, and NAR is, I make fun of NAR now and then as a joke, but NAR has been extremely, extremely helpful as far as that goes. We are the largest trade organization in the country, and because of that, I think the people that are running NAR do a tremendous job. Haiti Kasama being one of them, and so forth. All right, so now I want to get into your team, but I want to see one of the great things about having somebody like you who's running a team, top producer agent, is what people really like to hear, Dan, is give us a little your progression. You don't have to start, 20 years ago, but, so you're an individual agent, and then how did you go from that to where you are today? Give us a little of the progression, please.
Sure. I was at Century 21, and I was doing really well. I was in probably my 8th, 9th, 10th year in the business, and was doing probably anywhere from 18 to 25 listings per month, which back then they didn't sell as fast as they sell now. So you would have a good inventory and hopefully get 7 or 8 turnovers per month out of that. But I needed some help. Basically, I was doing about $15 million a year in business, and that was at the point where I was just going crazy, and I decided, okay, I need to get an assistant in here. And I just started out having someone do my admin work, handle all my files, my paperwork, but I would still follow up with buyers loans and listing marketing campaigns and things like that. And that just was eating up too much of my time still. So I decided I really liked listing a lot. So I decided, okay, there's a lot of buyers they're just getting dropped through the cracks left and right here. So why don't I get someone, become a buyer's agent, and I could just turn all my buyers over to them. So that's where it all started, and it grew and grew. And then, we had some wonderful years there in the 90s. And I think I had at the most, my team was about 12 people, and probably about 10 of those were buyer's agents. And I had a listing manager and an escrow manager, both full time. They were both making really good money. We were advertising like crazy, and everybody was doing extremely well. And then, of course, that led us into the millennium, and things kind of got changed up a little bit, and then things fell off a cliff.
97, yeah.
Yeah, and my team, once we got into just short sales and foreclosures was, 55% of our market. A lot of agents dropped out of the business, and my team, the number of people on my team diminished, and I have probably been operating with 3 to 4 people maximum on my team since then.
Okay, cool. So just for just to give them an idea, your best year. Do you remember what your gross involvement and your transaction numbers were? What you did in millions, and how many actual closings you had?
My best year, I believe, was about 30 million.
Okay.
And we probably had 150 transactions, maybe 170. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That was when I had a lot of people.
30 million, 170. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Good. And what will be like, what, if you don't mind, how are you going to finish this year, and what's your goal for next year?
This year, I am probably a little bit behind where I was actually last year. One of my top agents that had been with me for 10 years dropped out and went on her own, and it was a very amicable situation. So she just wanted to go out and try business on her own, but she was doing a pretty sizable amount of business per year. But I would say we'll probably close out the year. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere over 20.
20 million. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And
All right,
next
good.
year the goal is to hit 30.
Hit 30 again. Good. Love it.
Yeah.
Now, and just give us a brief description of your team today and what they do, please.
Okay. So I have a full-time licensed team manager, Lana, who I think pretty much everybody at St. Rose knows her. She's very, very helpful, super helpful, super outgoing. She's been on my team for, great personality. She's from Serbia. She's got a really, really strong work ethic. She's been on my team for over 6 years. And she's fully licensed, so she can assist my agents however they need to be assisted. She had 5 years of selling experience before she joined my team and decided she just wanted to, be in the office and help people out, get clerical work done, things like that. But very, very knowledgeable. She's very well educated, bachelor's degree, extremely hard worker. So she kind of manages my team. She keeps me in line. And she also, she helps I've got 2 buyer's agents on my team right now, looking for another 2. And she has been a tremendous help on my team as far as helping the agents, coaching them. And I coach them, I mentor them. My agents, when they join my team, I typically have a 3-interview process. Then I talk to my other agents, everybody else on my team, and get a feel from them as to how they feel about the person that I'm considering hiring. And, it's a pretty in-depth hiring process. I ask a lot of questions and a lot of different scenarios, and really like to know who that person is, what their work ethic is, and how they operate as a person. That's really important because so much of that depends. So much of your success depends on who you are, not just how hard of a worker you are, but really who you are. It's going to help you determine how you get business, where it comes from. Your type of, are you a networking person? Do you build relationships? Building relationships is at the basic fundamental of this business. That we really have to be strong on building relationships because, banks aren't handing out repos to agents left and right anymore. Short sales were really easy listings to get. Those aren't around anymore. So it's all about building relationships, networking, and my agents are taught, how to farm. They have to pick a farm. They have to work that farm, and there's a process to working that farm. They have to learn how to prospect, and I sit down with them for the first couple of weeks that they're ready to start prospecting and make the calls myself and show them how it's done, teach them. And, they are taught, different dialogues with, how to handle the different dialogues. It's really, really important that they have an immense amount of preparation. Today's agent really has to be super prepared if you're going to compete. And you're actually, when you really think about it, those consumers are who we're competing with as well, because they already have all of the information out there. So if your buyer or seller are ahead of you with information, if they know more than you, you're in trouble. So it's really important to stay in front of them and have more information than they have. More information about a particular neighborhood. You better know what schools they're dealing with. You better know all of the activity that's going on, what's in that area. You get a buyer that comes to you, you better know every single thing about that area. It's not important just to know what listings are there, but somebody wants to buy a home in Green Valley Ranch, you better know everything that's in Green Valley Ranch. You better know about the district. You better know about the schools. You better know about all the benefits. You better know about those walking trails and the different parks that are available. All of that stuff. You have to be a huge resource for them. And, I teach my agents, you better have every single vendor available in your phone contacts so that you can send those to your buyers or your sellers. You've got to be the resource. You're that go-to person. because all the other information about houses, they can look all day online. We don't help them
Right.
with that anymore. They do that on their
So
own, and they'd rather do it on their own.
yeah, it's such a good point. And I'm doing success series this week at the Gilbert office in Arizona, and that's one of the things I tell them. And Dan, and I agree with you 100%. It starts from, even if you're working an open house, they walk in, they have all the information available to them. The reason they're coming to an open house is they're looking and they believe that home is available. They show up, and that's when you take over. And if they feel they know more than you about what they're looking for, why would they ever want to work with you? Yeah, history.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I even tell agents, when you're sitting in a home that's overpriced and they walk in, because buyers are the most knowledgeable for their price range. Okay. When you're sitting in a home that's overpriced, they look at the home, they look at you, and they go, why would I work with this agent? They don't even know pricing. So It starts from the first contact you make with people. And that's why open houses are so good, because it's a face-to-face, not over the phone, or over the phone second best, but internet and texting and all that would be. But that's a great point. You have to be the most knowledgeable person. It's funny because when I interviewed Avi Dangor, that was one of his big points too, is, you got to be the most knowledgeable person. Otherwise, they're not going to work with you.
Yeah. You've got to, with everything that's going on in our industry right now, with the disruptors, the capital investors, the only thing that we can do is be extremely knowledgeable, invest in yourself, develop your skill set so that you're at the top of your field, and, enhance the consumer experience as best as you possibly can. Because those guys out there, the disruptors, they're screwing up the consumer experience. They're charging excessive fees, and they're lowballing. The sellers are netting less on their equity. So it's not a great experience for them. Is it quick? Is it fast? Yeah, absolutely. But is it a good experience? Absolutely not.
Right.
So that's our job, is to enhance the consumer's experience, provide as much resources as we possibly can, and be the expert for the area that they're looking in. Be the expert, for the seller as far as their market. It's just really, really important to invest in yourself that way.
I love it. Okay, so there's you, there's Lana, who sounds like she's kind of like an office manager. Then you've got 2 buyer agents. It sounds like, and you're looking for 2 more. Anybody else on the team you'd like to mention, or?
Myself, Rick. I consider myself pretty valuable.
Yes, I would too.
That's
absolutely.
It. That's my team.
All right, cool.
That's my team.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. And in your business, would you say you're mostly listing, mostly buyers, or how's your breakdown?
We have been probably right on the fence for the past several years. We generate. I've always preferred to be a listing agent. I love the ability to go in and get a contract signed and just get into the marketing. I've always enjoyed that. It's always been a challenge for me that I've embraced. Buyers, after being in the business for so many years, Rick, it's hard for me. I'll work with a family member or a really long-time client still, but showing houses just got boring for me. It's one of those things you've been into so many houses over the years, thousands and thousands of homes. It just got to the point where, okay, I've done this enough. I need to, get some other people to start doing this. And so I train my agents on how to show homes now the most effectively that you possibly can, not just going in, here's the kitchen, here's the bathroom, here's the backyard, and so on and so forth. My agents are taught how to demonstrate a home, how to really show the best assets of that home.
I love it. Demonstrate versus showing. Elaborate that a little bit for us, please.
Demonstrating, basically everything from, I teach them when you're going, try and get your clients into the car. I know so many agents don't do that anymore. It's meet me at this property, meet me at that property. But if, the benefit of having them in your car with you is you're building that rapport, you're getting to know them more. getting to know them more is going to make you more effective. And I try and express that to, my buyer's agents. Talk to your clients, get to know them more, find out what was their house like when they were a kid that they grew up in, because a lot of people carry that with them and still have that image in their deeply embedded in their mind about, this is the kind of house that I want. What I grew up when, mom in the kitchen baking pies and having this and blah blah blah. That experience is what they want to carry forward into their, whether they're first time home buyer or it's their last home.
Right.
So and then approaching the neighborhood, talking about the benefits of the neighborhood, walking up to the house. Hey, stand outside, take a look up and down the street. What do you think of this street? What do you think of your neighbors? And walking in and actually, you don't have to look at the size of this living room. It's more like, what does that living room offer? Oh, see how the fireplace is the focal point. Look at the stone on the fireplace. Things like that. Focus on the smaller things and learn how to handle those objections. I have my agents demonstrate a house to me a few times before they actually go out and do it on their own. So I pretend that I'm the buyer. They pick me up. They meet me at the office. I get in their car, and they go through the whole process with me so that I know that they can actually do it. And then we stop. Sometimes we'll stop right in the middle. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to throw an objection at you here, and you better know how to handle it.
Right.
So,
wow.
Things like that. And then those objections, people look at them like they're objections. What those are just, they're providing you information on
right.
what they like and don't like. Those aren't just objections. Oh, well, my furniture is not going to fit in this bedroom. Really? Well, how about, downsizing your furniture? Okay. What kind of furniture do you have? What kind of room are we going to need for that furniture? That's information for you. It's feedback. That's what objections are. So, when I first got in the business, we were taught, okay, Tom Hopkins, you remember him, Rick?
Oh, yeah.
We were taught how to overcome objections, and it's not, that's old school. It's not just overcoming objections. It's giving me more feedback. Give me more feedback. I love objections because it's just feedback to make your job easier.
Right. I agree with that 100%. That's such good stuff. So it sounds like you're, everybody in your team is trained really well. And I hear a lot of Mark Stark in that too. A lot of touchy-feely, get to know people, which is, let's face it, it's the golden rule anyway, right? You're helping somebody. It's one of the things that I've always been amazed with is that this business, when we first started, Dan, we were selling the American dream. There is no better business. And you got to know everything about somebody in order to do that if you really want to help them. And if you really want to help them and you do a great job at that, your business is going to be incredible with repeat and referral anyway. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement with you on that. Yeah. It's so important to focus on your clients and know everything that you possibly can about them. Here's the other benefit to that, Rick. The more you know about that person, what gym do you work out at? What do you do for fun? What are the things that, what are your hobbies and things like that? They're going to feel like you have a genuine interest in them, number one. Number two, you're going to find out more about them and get more referrals from them just by knowing what their interests are. Oh, hey, okay, so you're a serious bowler. You bowled a 250 the other day. That's phenomenal. How many? Do you have other people on your team that are homeowners or interested in buying? I would really appreciate the referral business. Things like
right.
that. Getting involved in getting involved in their lives. If they, hey, I'm going to go. I'm going to go participate in this program where we're helping feed some homeless people. Oh, okay. Maybe you want to jump in on that.
Right.
Get involved with people, and they're going to you're going to meet more people through just getting to know your clients more. So,
absolutely.
And that's what it's all about,
absolutely.
Building a relationship.
Absolutely. The relationships are critically important. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left, and I want to make sure I ask you this question. Okay, so you're brand new in the business, or you're an agent who wants to grow to the next level. What would be the 3 most important things you would tell them to focus on?
Okay, well, brand new in the business, I would definitely, in order to build your business, I mean, there's obviously the low-hanging fruit, which is the expired listings and the for sale by owners. But that's, again, in my opinion, that's the low-hanging fruit, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Go after that because it's out there, and those are people that definitely want to sell. The other important things that I always stress to my agents, and both of my agents on my team are new. They're fairly new. So I encourage them to get involved in a network. Whether I'll give you an example. I joined a dojang 16 years ago. That's a martial arts training center, and started getting into martial arts back then. The beauty about that school, which I didn't realize until a few years into it, was, hey, there's a lot of parents here, and in order for kids to be able to, to train here, they have to pay money for this, and it's an elective type of a thing. It's not mandatory, so they're spending good money. These parents have money. These parents have money. Well, what are they going to be doing? Buying and selling houses. So I generate probably 3 to 4 transactions a year just from that dojang, from parents, because
nice.
I teach in there also, and I'm helping their kids. My brochures are out front. They always ask me what's going on in the real estate business, and so that's a given. I'm the real estate agent, and I've also had relocated the master there into 3 different dojangs over the past 16 years. So
wow,
it's been really beneficial. Yeah, I've handled the lease for him on 3 different occasions. So it's really, really important to get involved in some type of a networking group where there are people who have the ability to buy and sell homes. Don't join a networking group with a bunch of other real estate agents. Also, really important. So just, partner with a lender that's going to help you immensely in your business. Partner with a title company that's going to help you immensely in your business. And then start building your sphere. That's for new people. Start building your sphere and really, really work that sphere. Meet people. Just being a member of the gym at LVAC, I've sold several homes to people in that gym, just getting in there and not just doing my own thing, but meeting new people in there. Here comes Gordon. Right. Here comes Gordon Miles walking out of the gym right now. Anyway, there's a lot of benefit to just getting out there and building those relationships. The reason I said the low-hanging fruit, Rick, those are great methods of getting business, but the most important way to develop your business is to build your relationships. Right. Those are going to be the long-lasting ones. Those are going to be the ones that, working on your sphere, working with people like that is the most important aspect of it. And, of course, farming, start a farm. It's expensive, and you got to hold on to that farm for a minimum of a year before it's really going to start turning anything over. So,
right, love it.
What did I miss?
All right, cool. So when you kind of segued from the low hanging fruit is for the new agents, and building relationships and really getting that sphere healthy is for the seasoned agents.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, seasoned agents who want to continue building their business. I would really, if I was to have the knowledge that I have now and start all over, it's all about building relationships, contacting people, not just asking for the order. Hey, how's your son doing in college? I know you sent him off to college last year. How's he doing? Just talking to them like a normal everyday person, and not so that when they hear from you, it's, oh yeah, that's a person who's genuinely interested in what's going on with me. He's not just asking for the order, but guess what? I like him so much that I will give him the business.
Right. I love it. Well, the great thing is for everybody on this call today that every lead source that Dan just mentioned, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I have videos on each one of those. And this interview with Dan will be on podcast, on the Apple, and then Podbean if you have an Android phone, as I always put them. I just want to say, Dan, thank you very much for taking 30 minutes out of your day. This was completely awesome. Really appreciate you, my man.
My
I hope
pleasure.
you have a wonderful holiday season. Finish December rocking and rolling, and have a great 2020, my man. Thank you.
Absolutely. You too. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Woo! Appreciate it.